minutes on. 3, 2, 1, 0, and liftoff.
Joke of the week. I like that. Oh,
Hello.
You only just noticed that.
Was it just
Oh my god.
Because I'm generally too busy opening my sweets by that time.
Yeah, too busy eating sweets. That's it.
What is he like, eh?
Yep.
I know. I finished that now.
So what didn't you notice before, Terry? What was it you didn't see?
The advertising.
Joke of the week. Featured on the
The
credits.
joke of the week.
Oh, right. Okay. It's always been there. Well, it's been there for the last, 2 months?
2 months.
Okay. That's
Anyway.
8 sweets that I've eaten round about that time then.
8 sweets.
Yeah.
But I felt I was on the leading therapy. Right, so we got in the chat. We have Jade, we have Patrick. Hi, Patrick.
Oh, Patrick, yeah.
Girls.
Steve.
That's me.
Oh,
Hello, I'm
lots of
there.
people.
Chuck.
Steve Knowles.
And
Mike and Yvonne.
Jay, Northeast FPV. Good evening to you. Kim.
Back,
Kim. Drove News Media, as always. He's always here.
Ow.
And Jerry. And
Harvey.
Steve Knowles. And
Jerry.
Mike and Yvonne, or Mike or Yvonne, or it can be both.
Oh,
Mike
Steve
and Yvonne.
Knowles.
Whatever.
Cool.
Anyway, good evening to you.
Always
Hi, Sally. Sally.
Oh, Sally. Sally.
Sally.
Sally, bride of our alley.
I think Terry's been drinking.
Now I've been at rehearsals all day.
What's in those sweets?
Yeah.
I got aniseed twist now.
Yeah, that's what it is. Aniseed twist. They got whiskey in them, so haven't they? Hi, Al. How you doing, Al? Oh, Brad.
Just aniseed, Pernod.
We missed anyone. No, we missed anyone. Well, if I missed anyone, good evening anyway. So we're here again for a Motley Crew 1 hour, one hour of craziness, or whatever you like to call it.
No, it's less than that now. We've been on for 3 minutes.
Well, 3 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not. We've only got 16 people watching this.
57 minutes of craziness left.
Don't forget, hit the like button. Every week after you go and put my like buttons in, press the like buttons for you. Press the like button.
Yeah, right. I'll do it right now.
Yeah, do it right now. That's it. Right now. Down.
Do it for me, Jackie, will you?
Done.
Don't forget, hit the
No,
like button.
it undoes it.
Reminder, look, don't hit the like button. Hit the like button. I'll get Terry to tell you a joke. That's a bit of a threat, isn't it? So
I got a good one lined up.
So Terry was telling me earlier on. I was telling Terry how cold it was here today. It's been miserable the last few days, about 7 degrees ish. And Terry said, "Oh, it's been terrible in Spain. Absolutely terrible.
We've
Really
had
cold.
3
Really?
solid days of
He
rain.
said it's cold. 17 degrees is
I
not
know.
cold.
No.
It is when you
Is it,
acclimatise to it.
It wasn't 17 either.
No, it was more like 14, wasn't it? It was freezing. Hey,
No,
Terry.
not 19.
Still twice as warm as it is here. What about you, Marcus? Have you got what's your weather like now? Is it warming up a little bit?
It actually has warmed up, and it kind of then cooled off a little bit again, but not unbearable cold like it had been just a few weeks ago. So yeah, like yesterday when Tanya and I went out and flew, it was probably in the high 40s, low 50s, maybe. Pretty good wind, so the wind was a little bit cold, but other than
What's that in real money?
About 10 degrees, something like it.
Yeah, I don't know. Hang on here, let me tell you.
Yeah, Marcus will do the calculation.
Yeah, about 10 degrees. Yeah.
Well, our pool is at 15 degrees.
Yeah, so
Kev,
have you been out flying at all?
No, I really wanted to go flying this weekend, but I've got 2 days off, Monday and Tuesday. So I'm hoping I'm going to get out. Yeah.
I
Excellent.
want to see some footage from that Mavic 3. That's what I want to see.
Everyone
Haven't even
cross your
opened the box
fingers.
yet.
Kev gets good weather on his days off because he works far too hard and doesn't get to fly enough.
I even
Yeah.
work today. Even
Indeed.
today.
It's Sunday.
I
We
know.
haven't been out for a while, have we, Jackie?
No, we have to get out again soon.
Pedrera. Mind you, the drone bikers, they're up and running now.
Excellent.
I got the little mini ready,
Ooh,
charged up ready.
Yeah, why not?
excellent.
Anyway, well, we must leave some chats here. Stephen's in the chat. And Ross.
Yeah,
Anyone
he's had a
else?
bit of rain.
Oh, Ross has had some rain. He sent it over well.
Facebook, you good evening all. Although, ladies, who's that, Jackie?
Oh, let me find
Good
out.
evening.
Hold on.
And Gary's in the house as well. Good evening, Gary.
Where's Gary?
Did we
He's there. He's there.
Oh, he's
call
got
out
it.
Alderan earlier?
Mrs.
Yeah.
Duckler said that we're recording the
He's-
last of the series of the pottery thrown down. She warms up the microphone, so here I am.
Hey!
Warms up the microphone. Warm up
We're
the
going to do our
microphone.
best.
You don't have to warm up the microphone, they're instantly. Warms up the microwave.
Yeah.
I thought they were instant.
Oh, it's Andy from Los Alcatraz. Facebook.
Oh,
user.
Andy.
Yay.
Andy, hope you're okay. Hope you're feeling better now. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
All right, Andy.
All COVID-19 is history.
Yeah.
Who's our guest?
Hillary. Yes. Let's bring
Yeah,
our guest
that's
on.
what we had a
Bring our guest. We want our guest. We want our guest.
Ooh.
Let's bring our guest on.
Let's welcome this week's Drone Seekers live show special guest.
This is God.
It's Tania Gail.
That's better.
Thank you.
No stranger to the Drone Seekers show. Of course, it's Tanya in the flesh. In the video.
Hey?
welcome to our little posse, as they say. But you're no stranger, you know us all anyway. So, but you don't know no introduction to the man right at the end there, do you?
Yeah.
No.
Well,
It's a dream. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. I think I look up to you. We're inspiration.
Yeah. I look up to Marcus as well.
Don't look up this way. Look out to your left.
It's like when I used to watch Opportunity Knocks. Not Opportunity Knocks. What was it
Yeah,
called?
that's it.
What was it called?
We're the yellow team, aren't we, at the moment?
And what was that? What I can't remember what the program was called. What was it called? Can't help me
Well,
out.
not
University Challenge.
That's
Yeah.
what. And I was actually convinced that they were above each
Yeah, me too, when I first watched it.
and there was actually a spoof version of it with the young ones in it, and they was like having the right guard and people down.
Oh,
He-
yeah, I
he,
saw
put- he
that as
kicked
well.
his foot. He kicked his foot and thrown the bottom of the floor. Here he comes. Let's just get this out of the way first.
Oh, let's get this out. Yeah.
One day I'm going to open my hands. And it's gonna be,
It'll be there.
oh,
I have a scale. It's broken because it's full. It's gone.
I've got a question for Tanya, right?
Right, got a question for Tanya.
Okay.
4 of us on this panel are really going to want to know.
4 of us.
That's got you wondering, isn't it? Yeah, 4 of us.
Okay.
What
I'm
is
intrigued.
Marcus like when the cameras aren't rolling?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is he
oh,
grumpy?
Is he stressed?
no,
Or what?
he is remarkable. I will tell you that. He actually is truly a savior for me for updating the firmware on my M3.
Oh, nice.
Oh, yeah, he's a bit of a spaz, but that's okay. He but he really
Oh, we're gonna get the gossip.
well, you have to understand the backstory is I purchased the Mavic 3 Cine and in December, and up until yesterday I had not been able to update the firmware appropriately.
Okay.
I hate technical stuff.
Oh,
It's
this is
like-
beyond
Sounds
technical
very
stuff.
like-
I think I spoke to every product support specialist in DJI
Oh, wow.
to figure this out. The DJI Assist website it didn't even recognize my quadcopter. So I wasn't able to download files that way. Marcus and I can attest to the fact that the internet service here in Boise, in the greater Boise area, doesn't like DJI. Therefore, yes, I cannot hook up my quadcopters to download the firmware using my own system. Hi, Patrick. And hi, Kim. And so what happened is this has been months of trying to figure out. I had product support specialists telling me, you got to go into the root directory and make these, changes in the programming. And I'm like, honey, no, I am not.
Nice, isn't it? Straight out the box.
Just change the root directory here. I'm like, no. So I actually managed to get one update done at Starbucks. I had the Starbucks Wi-Fi,
Their Wi-Fi.
one
brilliant.
update. And so yesterday we were going flying. I was at Starbucks saying, it's got to work again. I got to get this new update. Did not work. It was the weirdest thing. It was showing me that my little RJC controller, my controller was connected to Starbucks.
Right.
Yet the DJI Fly app was saying there's no internet service.
Mind you, that I've had my mobile phone. I've been in a restaurant, and it says, "Do you want to connect to our internet?" You connect to it, but you can't get anything on it.
You can't get anything on it. I was able to get something once at Starbucks. So I tried again. So unfortunately, after I gave up with this, I called Marcus yesterday and I was Marcus, this thing isn't working again. It isn't working again. How am I supposed to fly it?
John Toby said, if the drone is swamping, killing your Wi-Fi. I had that problem. See, I have never, ever had a problem updating DJI products.
No, likewise.
Seem to matter where I am, either just out in the wilderness.
Let Tanya finish the story. There's a hero involved.
Oh.
Don't worry, Tanya. I'll take it around my house and do it.
Really? Well, I've learned quite a bit about the ins and outs of internet security with this, but what was really frustrating, Jackie, is I would have my beautiful, this is Sparkle, this is my Mavic Air 2. Right. That would update with no problem. It would connect to my phone, my data, and update. Not a problem. This would not do anything. It was a very expensive paperweight. Oh my gosh. So I'm like, Marcus, yesterday. I'm like, Marcus, I'm done. I have to, I think, apologize to another DJI support person. Because I sent a very strongly worded email yesterday. When I was talking to you, I said, okay, we're going to give it one more try with the phone. Hop onto my iPhone hotspot. One more try. I've tried this about a dozen times. It hasn't worked. I'll give it one more try. We'll give the old college try. If it doesesn't work, this is going in the Boise River. I'm going to throw it over that canyon into the Snake River. So that didn't happen. So we did. So Mark, literally, we met up. We chose the spot we were going to fly. We parked our cars, getting set up. I'm like, okay, Marcus, go time. And what was it, Marcus? Like 2 minutes of fiddling with my phone. We got it worked. Marcus is like, oh, let's try this.
Gary's with me. He said he's never had a problem updating DJI on the road.
The issue was
should have bought a note.
The issue was
I should have bought an Autel. I mean, that's how close I was. I was like ready to sell this thing if someone didn't stop me from throwing it into the Snake River. If it couldn't get updated, I will not fly a quadcopter that doesn't have the latest and greatest firmware. That's not safe. And I was at wit's end. My beautiful little Sparkle here was updating like a champ. No problems. I've never had a problem.
We need to tell them what the solution was. We need to explain the solution.
So, okay, so everyone understands what a Wi-Fi hotspot is on your phone. It kind of opens up your phone to connect another Wi-Fi device to use your data as an internet source. If you're in the middle of nowhere, Snake River Canyon, you can do this. So what was I doing? I think I was trying to connect. I was doing it backwards.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I was trying to connect the phone to the controller. And we were supposed to connect the controller to the phone.
Right.
Once we figured that little minor detail there. So that was months and hours, and yes.
So what you're saying,
Tanya, you're doing it backwards.
Error, wasn't it? It was pilot error.
And we got it.
No, it's 2 minutes. 2 minutes, and it took a while for it to update, but it updated. It's now the latest and greatest because.
Tanya, what did we do?
You got to try it, yeah?
What did we do while it was updating, Tanya?
What was that?
What did we do while it was updating? We flew the Air 2S.
Nice.
And then by the time we got done with that flight, her bird was all updated, and you guys want to see Tanya with a grin from ear to ear. She did not stop. She was laughing. She was smiling. She was
it's been a long time.
Can't wait to see the video.
What did DJI say, Tanya?
Yeah.
What did DJI say when you sent an apology?
I haven't. I'm still working on that apology. I'm very sorry for my outburst, but the situation has been resolved.
Having said that, they should have.
Very diplomatic.
They should have known, shouldn't they? When you told them everything you tried, DJI should have known, shouldn't they?
They should have known. No, and they kept regurgitating the same instructions.
Yeah.
Well, so that's a good point, Tanya, because what happens with those tech support is they have a script, and they go over a script, and sometimes they'll miss things just like what we're talking about.
And then there's the language thing as well.
Right.
Language.
It could have been, and they're telling me, yes, use your hotspot. I'm like, but I did. It didn't work. But not that I wasn't explaining exactly what I did, because that's what I thought we were supposed to do. And first of all, this lovely controller, from day one, it actually was telling me it couldn't update because it didn't have enough space on my iPhone. I have a huge file of photos that I took just to show them, look, why do I need my iPhone memory for this to update this? There was a whole host of issues that were going around, a lot of miscommunications, but 4 months later,
oh my God,
it's solved. And I hopefully share this experience with other people, so to spare them the grief.
A happy bunny.
See, Chuck said he's in tech support, and I thought, well, actually, I'm still technical support as well. And I can't have. If I had a script, you'd be like Encyclopedia Britannica.
If you're tech support, you are the script.
Yeah, it depends what sort of text, doesn't it, as well?
Yeah.
Right, and I will tell you from the get-go, from starting with the DJI P2, which was the least technical aircraft they had. It basically had a Wi-Fi signal between the controller and the quadcopter. Going from that to what these drones are capable of now, the sophistication.
Yeah.
Updating wise, I mean, it shouldn't be any different because you've still got the same thing. You've still got a controller and you've still got a drone, but it's just that they've just sort of made it more complicated than it needs to be, I think.
I really think one of the issues with the M3 is they kind of threw it out there pretty quickly. Too soon. This is a very sophisticated level of programming with this, which it should be. It's much safer. when there's a problem, this reminds me of their tech support that they had back with the P2 when I first started, which was ridiculous. I mean, it was just a common joke around all the forums that you wouldn't want to get a DJI product because the tech support was terrible. And I can tell you that for a fact because the DJI P2 didn't have a gimbal. You had to buy a separate gimbal.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. H3. Well, the instructions that came with it they labeled all the the pieces you get with it. They mislabeled what you actually got.
It's not like IKEA then, where it's all
right.
Hey, Tanya.
Yeah.
So one of the things I think everybody would find interesting, because I know I did, was your impressions then of the RC Pro and of the Mavic 3 once you had it fully functional with all the functions and fully updated. I was interested in your thoughts on it.
Oh, well, it is an impressive piece of kit. It really, I still don't understand why they released it so soon. And I really don't buy they wanted the Christmas market because this gives me everything I want and then some. They would have got the sales whenever they released it appropriately. They weren't missing anything. And then but finally getting to use the gear the way it's supposed to be used. Now I have flown this and I was really leery about it because I knew the firmware wasn't completely updated and I just kind of was going somewhere where there's absolutely no people and if it would fall out of the sky, it would only break some plants.
So Chuck's saying so there's still some more work to be done on the Mavic 3 then? Is there still what are we waiting for now on the Mavic 3?
I think this final update was what they...
Yeah, the only thing I can think of, and anybody in the chat, correct us if we're wrong, but there's the issue with the grabbing satellites initially. However, Tanya and I had no problem with that yesterday.
None.
But there are people, a lot of people that are having issues with how quickly it grabs satellites. To my knowledge, that's the big thing that's left. And anybody in the chat, speak up if there's something else.
I mean, Brian's in the chat. He said he thinks it's overpriced. Well, I think we've had that conversation. I mean, the thing is, it is what it is. That's the price. Don't pay
You're willing to pay for it, aren't you?
You have to look at the price as they're looking at the prices. What will the consumer pay? And they knew their consumers. This is a good product, so they will price it accordingly, and they're not afraid to do that because they know people will purchase it.
I mean, what will happen? What will happen? No doubt. I mean, obviously they'll look at the sales overall, and if the sales are lower, they'll lower the price of it, or maybe they'll have a promotion on it or whatever. But they can't reduce. If they reduce the price now, I mean, people would be up in arms, wouldn't they? Maybe they're trying to say, right, it's now £300 or $300 cheaper than it was. But we're thinking, hang on. I mean, they're in their rights to do it, but I don't think they will. They'll keep it where it is.
Does DJI ever reduce the price on any of their?
Oh yes.
I suppose they must do when they bring out a new one.
The FPV drone, my wife bought it for me, but it was on sale for $300 cheaper than it originally was, and it still is.
I mean, Gary's got a point there. Think about this. With those updates, I mean, you could, or can you ignore the updates then? Or will it not fly?
I think you can ignore them.
I think
you can ignore the updates. It's just some of the updates are kind of crucial.
Yeah, but the last Mavic 3 update contained a lot of the features that you didn't have.
Yes.
So that was a necessary update. But
what Gary was just saying there, and the thing is, you're out there flying one day, the next day is an update. Obviously, if it's an important update, like it puts features on the thing, that's one thing. But sometimes you get these updates, and you think, it's like your mobile phone, another update, you think, oh, what? and you update it, it takes about an hour to update. You think, what the hell has it done? It's done nothing. It looks exactly the same, but just added a silent cue to something or something.
Right.
But it's what Gary was saying, that the drone flies beforehand, so it would fly
Oh.
If you don't update it, it still flies.
Well, and that's all well and good if your quadcopter or your drone updates without issue. You can then make the decision. You can look at what the specs are that are being updated and say, do you need to do this now or later? The concern I had was it wasn't updating anything. That it just is, that's a bridge too far for me. Yeah.
Hey, one thing I wanted to bring up, though, that
Yes.
I was very, very impressed with was that RC Pro.
Yeah.
Got to really kind of get a good look at it first time with Tanya. And, man, that screen is nice and bright. I mean, you can see everything. So I had just flown the Air 2S, and even it was a cloudy day, but even I had a lot of reflection.
Yeah, I saw you. Was looking at the screen. You did have reflection. I just turned mine on.
Yeah.
It really, once I took the bird up in the air and I just did a quick flight, and we played around with certain features as well. It's revolutionary is the RC controller.
Did someone say there's another controller coming out?
Yes, there is. Yes.
A third one.
Yeah.
Third one.
That RC Pro, is that like the DJI smart controller?
Yes.
Yes.
It is.
Step up.
But
Right.
it's not interchangeable.
No.
No.
Oh, so it comes just with the M3.
I mean, yeah. Or the problem.
Yeah.
Now that nothing wrong with saying there's a whisper that the Mini 3 is going to be coming out with a smart controller, or is that just a
Well, you can now get the RC Pro in a kit with the Air 2S as well. Initially, you couldn't, but it is really a vastly improved product over the smart controller.
Well, Terry uses his smart controller with
That's cool,
motor
isn't it?
control.
It is. I take that out on my bike and everything, and
It's really
fine.
nice and bright.
Yeah, it is. It's nice and bright, and it also gives you very strong. You have that O3.
But I think the one
So-
you got, Tanya, I'm sure is actually brighter than the original one, isn't it? I'm sure it is.
It is.
I wouldn't know.
1200.
This is
How many nits
RC
is it, Marcus? Do you know?
Oh, it's 1,000 nits, so it's the same as the original smart.
Oh, it's
controller.
the same as the Crystal Sky then.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000 nits.
I've been.
Thousands of them, Jackie.
Not those kind of
No
nits,
reflection.
Oh.
There's no reflection on that RC controller. Is that correct? You don't really get any sunlight reflecting on the glass.
Oh, it's a matte screen. It's the finish
Yeah.
is not shiny.
Oh, that's smart, isn't it? I think the other thing that's good about those controllers is it's so quick to set up. That's what I see when I see Terry
Yeah,
set
it,
up.
yeah, it is. Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Still threading me wire.
Ray's
through
got a question here.
his mobile
Oh,
phone.
Book a flight and join us at the FSDM. We've got more female pilots.
So
Off
you
you
know what
go.
that stands for? South Florida Drone Meetup.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, is that one problem, that Ray? Yeah, it's like we've got a big pond in between us.
Yeah, come on, I'm explain, Ray. You shout me, I'll come.
yeah.
Jackie,
All come together and send
I'll give you
Jack.
that shout. We'll drive over in the van.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Pontoons, Terry, pontoons.
Pontoons.
There you go.
Yeah, there. Will you paddle, Jackie?
Or
I've
do you
got a paddle
really?
board. I could paddle.
Anyway,
Yeah.
we've got some videos of Tony's to watch.
Oh, gee.
Tony's
no.
a whole list
Yeah,
of
yeah.
them, but I was having technical issues earlier on, so I just had to say, Tony, if you don't like these ones, I apologise.
No, it's okay. And one of the things I really want to get across is like everyone starts somewhere.
You're very fortunate because I couldn't find the very early one, but these are all. I mean, we've told you said earlier on that when she watched these videos back, and she's all like, "Really?" And I thought, actually, it's like the humble beginnings of this show. I watch those videos back and go, delete. Anyway,
No, and I was completely out there. I was showing you the crashes that I had with the P2. I was
I must be.
I was just woo out there.
I tried that one because it was one Tony was sort of saying, look, when I come back here, and all of a sudden I hit the tree. The drone wanted a drink. I went, Jackie would relate to that.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah.
But
And
the
I'm
difference
just
was-
watching them now, and I'm
But I
so
think that,
close to these
but
branches.
the only difference was, Jackie, Tania's was
Yeah.
literally pilot error. She flew into a tree. You
No,
don't
I
want to be
didn't.
doing that.
Did you
That's
really?
a nice tree.
Oh, I'll hit
Have a look at it.
I'm
trees
gonna
and cliffs and
play
stuff.
these videos one at a
Sure.
time. I'll play the first one. And so
Sure, I can play one of them.
If you
They're-
want to, while you can curse me and swear at me.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Okay.
Oh, that's lovely. I really must get up earlier. I miss all these sunrises and stuff, don't I?
Early. Early.
That was very sort of like a very sort of eerie sort of effect, and the music was perfect for that. I thought. I quite
Yeah, it's lovely. I mean, that
Probably.
was so calm, wasn't it? There was obviously no wind whatsoever.
No,
the colours.
icy,
The colour was great.
frozen world. There was a hoarfrost there.
Yeah, nice.
And that is my style of videography. That's what I envisioned the first day I flew my P2. That is the videography I like. I like these dramatic, scenic, very zen-like shoots.
What was that? The P2?
Calm
Was
and
it? What drone was that? Was the Air 2, wasn't it?
Air
That
two.
was the Air 2.
Air 2,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So I got to
And-
tell you guys a little secret. There is such a huge difference in the way Tania flies and in the way I fly. So, I'm flying, man, I'm full throttle everywhere. I'm doing full throttle dronies, zipping that drone over the top.
I know somebody else like that, Marcus.
Tania, Tania is making all these very, very smooth cinematic moves everywhere she went.
You see,
So
what
there's a
you've got to, what I like to hear is the drone going. Meow.
Oh,
I just love the scream.
Well, I like the idea of the drone taking people to a place, a beautiful place. And there's actually an earlier clip, one of my first videos. I was having the P2 actually follow behind me as I was walking in the park. And it's just this idea of the point of view of the quadcopter is bringing you into this beautiful world where you can just forget all your cares and just be enveloped and look at the world in a different way. That's my vision of
No, it is.
videography.
I mean, that was the fact. I mean, I did a bit of when I was at school. We had sort of like a dark room. We did our own sort of taking photographs, and for a long while I moved away from it. But it was only when I sort of found drones again, I suddenly realised that hey, you can capture us, and just seeing things from a bird's eye view. It just
it revolutionized how you look at the world, and just think of the power that you bring with all of your videos. However you take them, you're seeing the world from a completely different, almost 3D perspective. That's special and important.
Well, at the end of the day, we are all artists, and obviously that's your style, Tanya. And Marcus, he thinks he's driving his Corvette.
Right. And I like all our FPV people that are. I mean, there's beauty in that too.
I must say about John Cuppy's FPV video. I know you're listening. That was fabulous. It really was good.
Yeah.
I don't think Crystal thought it was funny as the rest of us did, though.
No.
No.
Well, she did say, John!
I think it was more like, John!
Yeah, John!
But I
trapeze, and he threw his FPV through. Have you got it there, Steve?
What's that?
John Cuppy's video.
I'll be fine. Hang on.
I know you made a copy, didn't you? Is he still with us?
It's real quick, and it is hilarious.
Oh, it was fabulous. It was. Do you remember the other one that he did with his wife?
Oh, yes.
Oh yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah.
That was fun.
Tanya was ready to, or excuse me, Crystal was ready to kill him. I'm telling you.
Yes.
I'm not sure about fine. Oh, come on. I'm not sure what it is.
Well, Starbucks Wi-Fi there, Steve.
Starbucks Wi-Fi, yeah.
God bless Starbucks Wi-Fi.
We didn't say hello to Julio from.
I'll just play the video that Tanya made.
Oh, you got it! Yay!
Oh, cool. Press play again. Oh yeah, that's quick.
So I mean, I thought you had it on here. I was going to show it here. Is it on YouTube then, Marcus, or not?
If you could get it.
I saw it on Facebook, didn't he?
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook, Steve. So maybe we ought to move on, but we can explain what it was. Is John was flying his FPV drone in their backyard, and Crystal was, she was doing some kind of gymnastic stuff, and John was flying all around her, and he hit her at one point. So.
Oh my! Oh, that's not good.
Off the ground, wasn't she, in a trapeze?
Yeah, exactly. Like a trapeze. That's exactly what I was saying.
But she was upside down, and he must have
was upside down. She was.
Her arms and her legs.
Just like that.
I think I found it.
He found it. Here we go.
Oh, this is so good.
Hang on, we just have to.
I don't see Koopy in the chat anymore. I don't think he's here.
No, I don't see him there anymore.
It's just got beaten up, probably.
Oh my God.
Right, this I can. I'm not sure if it's going to work or not, but we'll have a go. Should we? There we go on there. That's it on there. Now we're going to go on that and spark that off. So share that on there. Mumble.
Here we go.
Bloody, bloody, blah.
Oh wow!
Oh wow!
He cracks me up.
Okay.
John probably done it on purpose. John, he's gone out of line.
Well, Marcus did show me the FPV that you owned, that you brought it and took a look at it. Didn't fly it, but
we didn't have enough time to fly it. But
they are fabulous.
You know,
We fly them all the time.
Marcus, just fly it down the canyon thing.
Yeah, come on, we haven't seen this at Snake River Canyon yet.
God, give me a break. We finally got some decent weather. Ask Tanya. It's
I mean, Terry, it's
cold.
taken long enough to make him buy one, hasn't it? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
We had to bribe Sarah.
Yep.
You
Caroline.
guys are talking about it being what, 15 degrees or whatever in Spain. Yeah, try it down here where it was, would have been minus something centigrade.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Oh,
It was
dear.
cold.
Yeah.
It was pretty cold a few weeks ago. But that's done now. We are now into spring.
You're in spring.
So
Yeah.
don't be very careful with a drone. Nothing wrong with that. That's very true. That's very true, Kim. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
Just go get Marcus flies FPV drone and not be careful.
My first flight, I threw it into sport mode, Steve. First flight.
Ah.
Yeah. So the next time it's going to be in manual mode.
It'll be in sport mode over the Snake River Canyon because
Really?
Because.
Hello, Caroline.
Caroline, talk about FPV. Caroline's going to come on and talk all about FPV to us soon. And
Caroline builds
show us
her
what
own.
we should be doing,
That's
Terry.
mental.
Not me. Not me.
What?
No, Caroline.
With
she
what
builds her
Caroline
own
does.
FPVs.
No, I'm too much of a coward.
I don't know. You were pretty brave with the Cine Whoop.
Shut it. That was a windy day.
Very, very brave, and then it took about 3 hours to find it. Everything. Can't you just bring it back? No.
No. But I was flying it in my garden as well.
It only
And
goes one way, that way.
it just took off, yeah. I went over the houses. So I got my bike out,
Oh
whipped
my
round the
God.
back of the houses, and it was laying upside down in the road, still going.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
So I
You
was
didn't
very
get
lucky.
one over.
Right, it was only 7 degrees here today. If it makes you feel any better, it was only 7 degrees here. So.
Who's that?
And showers.
Roaming Ray said it was, think of us in the Scottish Ball was only 6 degrees. It was 7 degrees here.
How did you get on, Caroline, with your DJI FPV?
Ah.
You say it was so cold.
Well, she's going to say that it was probably very slow, wasn't it? Even in sport mode, it was slow.
Yeah. So it's
There we are.
Caroline, 90 miles an hour. Take that.
Oh,
Ray's
I-
going to come. Ray's going to come.
Oh, Ray.
Is it you?
Come on in, Ray.
Oh, Captain Ray.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Captain Ray.
Cool.
Yeah.
8 degrees and sunny. Ain't sunny here. That's been miserable. Cold. Well, it's Britain. What do you expect?
Oh, but that's in Belgium, though. Patrick's in Belgium, isn't he?
He is
Yeah.
indeed, yeah.
Yeah.
I think, to be honest with you, it's pretty much sort of the same, similar weather, I'm guessing, at Belgium and France and UK, I guess, all pretty the same.
Yeah, all along that line. Or latitude.
Show us another Tanya video.
Shall we? What's another time with you?
All right,
What
go
have we
ahead.
got? Let's have a
You can
look.
see one of my fine things. Yeah.
One of your fine things.
It might we're lucky dip. There we are. Lucky. Ready? Well, yeah. Lovely.
Wake up.
I'm telling you, I you know what, I actually I listen to this a lot in the background when I work. And I love that. So
Where did you get your music from, Tanya?
Epidemic Sound.
Oh, everyone uses that one, don't they?
Yeah.
It was just it was a very, very sort of just so eerie, sort of calming sort of piano sounds. I love it. I love it. It's great.
And that was a really interesting morning. It was, I think, September, October when I filmed it. Break of dawn. I was driving up to Eagle, and it's at Eagle Island State Park, same place we were yesterday, and I was in the midst of all these photographers who were gathered there to get the mist and the sunrise. It was perfect conditions, and I had the one, they all had the traditional photographer pose. And getting
your camera takes off. Woo!
I was like, up in the air, flying over, and it was fun. One guy had the beret on, and he was doing his little long photography. It was really fun. Oh, the light is in the morning is amazing. I kind of live in those transitional times in the morning and in the and sunset or golden hour or blue hour.
Golden hour, yeah, that's what's going to say.
That is the bit of the day really, which is the most interesting because you've got so many different. The light is just it's not overpowering. It's
sleeping for the first bit, probably watching Neighbours for the second one. So I don't know.
So what are you doing now, Jackie? No Neighbours anymore.
They're closing down Neighbours.
I know, Neighbours. I'm going to be so sad in August.
I know.
Okay, so you got two Americans here in this panel that have no flipping idea what you're talking about.
Australian TV soap Neighbours. It's
Neighbours
popular in the.
Oh, is it like Coronation Street?
No, it's much more fun than that. It's been running for nearly 37 years.
Oh my, yeah.
And
wow.
They're ending it this August.
Home and away instead, then, eh?
Yeah.
Home and away? No, not home and away.
Oh, well, is it like EastEnders?
No, it's
there we are, Jackie. I'll just make you feel happy. Look.
Quite
there we are.
Depressing. Australia is sunny and bright and funny.
Oh, please.
There we are, just to make you feel happy.
Well, let me tell you, they need to learn how to spell Neighbours.
Everybody needs good neighbors.
Enough of that.
I love it.
That's a substitute for the joke time. No, you've had your joke now. We've just had it.
Neighbours are like calling. I'll tell you what, though, Gary. One thing, Kylie Minogue. That's the best thing to come out of Neighbours forever.
Lovely Kylie. I watched Uncle Buck this afternoon.
Oh, brilliant film.
Oh, I love that film. And The Borrowers this morning.
DeMarco, where have you been? What do you realise what the time is?
He's tuned in for Terry's joke. That's what it is.
Oh well, we mustn't disappoint Marcus. But DeMarco, Marcus.
There's Marcus.
And now it's time for Terry's joke of the week.
Okay.
Well, we've got two lovely ladies on the panel tonight, so this will be a testament to them. This woman tries getting on a bus, realizes her skirt is far too tight, and as the bus stopped and it was her turn to get on, she became aware that her skirt was too tight, much too tight to allow her leg to come up to the height of the first step of the bus. Slightly embarrassed and with a quick smile to the driver, she reached down behind her to unzip her skirt a little, thinking this would give her enough slack to raise a leg. Tried to, couldn't make the step, but only to discover that she just couldn't do it. Another little smile to the driver, who was looking quite weird at her. She again reached behind her to unzip a little more, and again was totally unable to take the step. Oh, and after becoming quite frustrated and embarrassed, she once again attempted to unzip her skirt more in order to allow more leg room to get on the first step of the bus. At about this time, a large Texan who was standing behind her picked her up easily by the waist and placed her gently on the back of the step of the bus. She went ballistic, absolutely ballistic, and turned to her would-be Samaritan and yelled, "How dare you touch my body? I don't even know who you are." Texan smiled. He drawled, "Well, ma'am, normally I would agree with you, but after you unzipped my fly 3 times, I kind of figured we were friends."
Terry's joke of the week.
You like that?
Oh, jeez.
What do you think of that then, Gary?
Come on, Gary. Oh, what did you think, Tanya?
Gary's not saying nothing. He just put little symbols on there.
Oh, well done, Gary. Thank you. It's always the mark of appreciation when Gary puts his remarks on. And I know that I've made it.
Yeah.
I've done it for this month.
Yep. There we are. Look, thumbs up.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Oh, and Caroline, yeah.
Did you
From
see the
Scott,
comment?
hi, Marcus.
The comment earlier on. Look, Brian said, "Look, oh my God, his show's going downhill." That's just I played the bloody neighbours theme. Won't do that one no more.
Brian, I thought you were talking about my joke then, but no, it was the neighbours. I agree with you totally on that one. Absolutely.
I mean, Ross actually admitted to me, he said, "Do you realise that Neighbours is not actually shown in Australia anymore?"
No, it's like the Foster's beer, isn't it? It's made for exporting.
Oh my!
Yeah.
Oh, is he John back? Is he?
He is, yeah. So I just told
John,
him.
you missed the video, mate.
Yeah.
You missed the video, John. We were telling everybody how wonderful it was.
You have to rewind a little bit.
Watch it on catch up, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Will you? So
this is
I've got another video to show, and it's time is getting on, so you've got to get on.
Crikey, you were early with the joke of the week.
No, was it?
It was 7 minutes.
Oh, I'll tell you, should we do it again then?
I've got another one if you want it.
Oh dear. Should we play the show in reverse? We're going to bring Tanya on again. We'll
She'll
just
have to
watch
come
it.
back. The show's gone too quick.
Yeah,
This is fun.
I'm
This
far
is fun.
too, and I've only got
love
through
talking.
3 videos. Right, we'll watch this one then. We've got time, Terry.
Yes, we got time.
Oh,
Oh, what,
he comes from
what happened there?
Oh,
He
Tanya,
goes
it was,
to the
it
front
was
end,
beautiful.
I
Don't
can
say-
explain.
Tanya,
You
it was
turn the
beautiful.
computer off before you
just
finish
started
uploading.
there.
What is that?
Yes.
That was an early attempt. That was the canned music that YouTube gave you at the time. I love the rotors in the view.
Yeah, I like that as well.
But it's a very beautiful. That was Pennypack Park. It's where I learned to fly. And I had just gotten back from not being able to take a drone pilot course and decided to go out and take the quadcopter out and go flying. And you can see I was terrified. I was actually scared of flying that day. And I didn't want to really go near that building because there was a lot of rebar around the building and it just messed up with I had quite a few flyaways happen if I got too close to that building.
wow.
And
And
that
all of a sudden,
was
yeah.
that the P2 or the P3?
P2.
P2.
Yeah. Yeah. So I was again flying blind because there was no interface. So I sort of was like, what way is my camera facing? It was the GoPro 3 I had.
Oh, I was
mounted.
going to say to you, what was it? Because it looked really wide.
Why? Yeah. It was the GoPro.
Distorted in the corners, isn't it? When it's
Well, that was probably me because I forgot to change the settings before I. These are the things you learn. Yeah, and I was like,
but that's just it. I was just thinking. So if you've actually got a camera fixed to a drone, but you've got you're not seeing now. You don't know what you're filming.
There's no telemetry.
No, so how do you know what you're filming then?
You don't. No, and that's you really keep an eye on that drone and you kind of guesstimate how close the drone is to the branches because you can't see anything.
So is it like a gimbal still? I mean, the camera actually fits into like a basket underneath it, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but GoPros have got stability anyway.
Not the
3 didn't have.
The
3 was mounted onto a Zenmuse 3D 3-axis gimbal, and DJI at the time would just sell the drone. So you had to additionally buy the gimbal and then attach your GoPro.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So that was a lot of fun. So you had to remember before you started anything, you had to make sure your GoPro was already recording before you took off. And your controller essentially was 2 sticks and a power button.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Nothing else.
So when
no telemetry whatsoever.
So when did the Phantom 3 come out? Then the Phantom 3 come out in.
That was like 14 or 15, maybe 16. The Phantom 3. Well, at the time, you could.
I think it was actually 16. I'm sure it was 16. I'm sure.
Yeah.
The first drone I bought was the Phantom 3.
I will tell you, at the time that I had the P2, you could. DJI was selling the Lightbridge system for about $1,200 US.
Wow.
That was sort of like a.
So you can actually take the camera to the.
Yeah, and that was just a lot of money for me back then.
Yeah, well, it was not really funny, but I mean, there's a lot of money just to connect a GoPro to a bloody. I wonder what the range was. The range probably wouldn't have been that good either, would it?
No, God, no. It probably was. And this is back in the day. This was not OcuSync. This was a Wi-Fi signal.
Well, even the Phantom 3. I mean, I never flew my Phantom 3 that far, but I don't think he had a very big range on it, did it? The Phantom 3. It's about 500 meters or something like that. I'm sure it was.
If that. And it really depended upon the environment. If you had cell towers or
2 yards in.
buildings, people, anything, cars. Poof, there goes your signal. That quadcopter flew. There was quite a few times where I'd take off and all of a sudden it would just kind of want to fly wherever it wanted to fly. I'm like, turn off. I'd disconnect it. I'd turn off the controller so it would land.
Was the Phantom 2, was it supposed to have GPS in or not? Or did it not?
It did. It had global positioning satellites, and now this was the fun part. So when you turned it on, you had to watch for 2 lights. on the back
how the hell did
stance.
you know when the
You
satellite?
Well, you had to wait. You had to wait at least 2 minutes and then look to see if these flashing lights turn green in the back on the struts. And if they did, you got a satellite lock. You got your GPS. Yeah, that's how I learned how to fly.
So Jackie, it makes that spark look like a pretty high-tech device, doesn't it?
So I'm going from that to this. This is like, whew.
So really, I mean,
Yeah.
just thinking about how long you've been flying drones, because I mean, I never had a Phantom 2. I mean,
Wow,
and what about you, Kev? Did you ever have one?
Not a Phantom 2, no. I went straight to, apart from the self-built octocopter that I built, I had a NASA GPS system, and then I went straight to Phantom 3.
Basically, Steve, at the time there was the Phantom owners and your RC pilots that were built their own.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, out of us lot here, you probably flying drones before any of us.
Wow.
Oh yeah, you were. No, there's no doubt about it, Tanya.
You must have been, because
Marcus, I mean, you than anybody on this channel.
Christmas 2018, I got my Spark. So
wow. I thought you were flying. You have a lot of skill. I thought you were flying longer. Wow.
No, I don't know about the skill. I'm quite good at editing, so I edit out.
No, Jackie, your skills as a pilot are phenomenal. I keep saying that over and over again.
They have got better, to be fair.
We did have a lot of training flights, didn't we, Jackie?
Yeah.
When Jackie and I first met, and she was just new to flying drones, we went out quite often, didn't we?
Yeah. And,
Jackie, I'll be honest with you.
Did your NASA FC and so on?
Yeah, that was the thing then, wasn't it? Yeah,
Jackie, I'm going to say this. Your skills have far surpassed Terry's.
Don't worry, Terry.
The good thing about flying this P2, this archaic system, was it taught me how to fly and what's really important and what's not important.
So after using the P2, even like, did you have a P3 then?
No, I couldn't afford a P3. I didn't want it because the P3 no longer used the GoPro camera. And
no, that's right.
DJI, they were starting to pull in their own camera system, and I was like, no, I only want to fly. I like the GoPro. I like the quality of the image. Okay. It's like the colors too expensive. So I didn't.
You bought her own drone out, didn't it? Was it a car?
Then I jumped to the Spark. I had the Spark for about
Sparks, don't we?
Months. Yeah, I had to, and then jumped to the.
What did you do with your Spark, Tanya?
I jumped to
Steve.
What did you do with your Spark?
I didn't have any. I held on to the Spark and got this guy, and then went to this one. This really convinced me that it had a better camera, because I was kind of hoping that GoPro and DJI would kiss and make up, but that wasn't going to happen. And again, what sold me on this is that it's a Hasselblad, so it's using Hasselblad. They bought Hasselblad. DJI bought Hasselblad.
They did, yeah.
Okay, sold.
And that's the beauty of it, really, is the fact that Hasselblad cameras, pretty much they go hand in hand with each other. So,
right, yeah. So you get the color grids and everything that go with Hasselblad with the lens. And I'm telling you, straight out of the camera, straight out of the drone, the image quality and the video quality, it just stands out, pops out to me. It's like, I can't believe it's this good with this machine.
I mean,
it's
there you go.
I don't.
You like yours, don't you, Marcus? You like yours.
I just it's out of video, but I never actually do anything with the colours of what however my videos are. That's how they go out. On
YouTube. Wow, yeah, I do. The color, I do some color grading on everything if I'm not rushing.
I just think that's the way it was meant to be. Let's try out the drone. off the card, in there, chop all the crap bits out. Jackie, I mean, do you do a lot of that, Jackie? I mean, do you do a lot of colour grading and work with it?
No, I'll tell you what I do try and do is, it's certainly in the early bits. I try to get my drone to match my GoPro colours, and I'm never satisfied with it. Never.
No.
GoPro colours are the best.
Arguably so. So that is kind of why I kind of hesitated at getting any other Phantom series, because DJI was going away from the GoPro. They weren't going to go back, and they were developing their own camera. And I'm like, they're not a camera company.
No,
You
and
can't convince me. Yeah.
I don't know about if you found it, Tanya, but my Spark was a lot closer in colour matching the GoPro than my Mavic Pro Platinum.
Really?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised.
My Spark was good.
Yeah. Yeah. And that got traded really quick to get the Mavic Air. I kind of picked it up late, and then the Air 2 was. Oh no, I did. I had the Air. I went to the Spark, to the Air, to the Air 2. I was jumping, as you could say.
But you do. I mean, because obviously it's when you're ready to buy another drone. I mean, obviously DJI bring a drone out. They bring at least one out a year, don't they? So if you'd have a right hell of a collection by now, wouldn't you?
Yeah, but what I was doing was trading one in. So literally, this is my fleet. Yeah, this is my fleet. I'm not Marcus. Marcus has everything.
Most people have a garage sale. Marcus could have a drone sale, couldn't he?
Yeah. Anyway. And really, I'm quite happy. This Air 2 is a workhorse. If anyone's really seriously thinking about getting into videography with the drones, if you don't have a workhorse already, if you're new, these and it updates without a problem.
Big selling point.
On that note,
I was happy as a clam. I had the biggest smile on my face. I have a drone that works. I'm flying it. Woohoo! 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 I was like, yay.
Happy as a clam.
The
only clams I've seen are very happy.
What? Because they're ready to be eaten.
They're ready to be eaten, yeah.
I guess this week.
My bongole.
You have to come back because we've still got some more videos of yours to watch. So you can come back and see us again soon. But you're on the show, really, so we can always show you videos because you're watching the show every week. So that's good. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we've got some people watching. We're still here, we've started late. So anyway.
I gotta run. I gotta actually go to another meeting, but I want to thank you all for inviting me. This was wonderful. You're who I look up to in the drone world.
The pleasure's all ours. Well, we do our best, but
you've created a wonderful community here of drone enthusiasts that are really good people that want to share their knowledge, and we're showing the world that drones are good.
I mean, a lot of people say, at the end of the day, there's always people who disagree with that conversation, but we won't. So anyway, for another week, stay safe, everyone, and we'll catch you next week.
Namaste.
We'll soon be here. 7 days. See you later. Bye-bye.